So I'm Amy Cappello. We live in Verona, New Jersey.
Yeah, Luigi Cappello. She lets me stay here. And we met Ray through actually he reached out on LinkedIn and I thought it was really interesting. It was at a time when we were looking to potentially move into franchising, so I followed up on it.
I have been in the corporate world for, I don't know, the last 23 years, working in various roles in brand management. And I stopped that about 2 years ago and took some time to sort of think about, what do I want to do? Do I want to go back into corporate America? Do I want to try something else? And about that time, as I was sort of reflecting, Ray had reached out. So we decided, hey, let's look into it. Let's, look and see what it's about. And I don't know, we became intrigued about the idea of opening up our own business, running our own business, doing something different, still being challenged. And so that's sort of, I guess, how we got into it. And then once we got started, there just seemed like so many positive things about it.
We ultimately invested in Hello Sugar, and we did investigate probably 20 or so different franchises. And really, I think for us there was a bit of a discovery journey on what do we like, what don't we like, how much community selling do you like to do, how much people management do you like to do, how much capital do you want to invest. And so all those things, when you look at enough models, you start to get a feel for what resonates and what doesn't resonate. So we ultimately felt like Hello Sugar was a perfect blend. I think one of the really nice things when you go into a franchise is it takes out some of the guesswork. And specifically for us, Hello Sugar did a really nice job with its revenue generation and how they bring people in the door, customer acquisition. And so that was great. And then also just the training and what's required to be successful. We were pretty impressed by it. And so that's why ultimately we went in that direction. We were completely new to the process, entirely new. And so even like he coached us a bit on what to look for in an FDD, what's important, what's not important. He also gave us good insight because he's not the franchise. He can give you guide. He gave us guidance in certain ways. Most important of which was, hey, talk to current owners and kind of get the inside scoop from them. Talk to ones that are happy and talk to ones that are maybe less happy, right? To kind of really understand what's happening. And I think that allowed us to kind of see the good, the bad, and all the different options that we're looking at and ultimately make a more informed decision. This process of starting off wide and then bringing us into an informed decision was a good one, and it's an iterative process as well, right? And I think, but he did, I think, save us a lot of time and potentially making a bad investment by not having talked to previous owners.
Someone like Ray is super helpful in guiding you through the process, helping you think about what at the very beginning, think about what you want out of a business, why you want it, and the things that you're interested in, which then I think helps you quickly get to, okay, what are the businesses I should be looking at? And as you're evaluating those businesses, you keep going back to what you sort of talked about in the beginning. So I think he helps you see the possibilities that maybe feel overwhelming for something that you've never done before, right? Like I've run a business, but I've never run my own business. And they're different. And I think he helps you think through that and understand it and go through it in a more sequential way that sort of makes sense. And when you get to that end, you're like, this is right. Like for us, we got to a place where we said, this is right. You may not get to that, but I think, you've gone through enough steps that you can feel good about it at the end.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would add is take your time. There's, of course, the franchises want you to be a part of them. And there's a vetting process and a fit process as well, but take your time, research, don't rush into things. And if you have questions, ask, right? That's probably the single most important thing because there's certain things that didn't appear, like certain costs that weren't obvious at first. It's like, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And the more you ask, the more you're curious, the more you get a good financial picture. Because at the end of the day, the franchise can offer you a lot of things, but probably one of the things that everyone wants is some form of revenue stream resulting from this. And understanding those nuances and taking your time and asking the questions is really important. I think different businesses need different things to make them succeed. Some need a lot of external selling. Some need a lot of capital to build structures. Some need understanding what really drives the numbers is really important because that's at the core of what you're buying. It was great. It was like having a big brother kind of just coaching you through the process. And I never felt pressure from Ray. It was always, hey, look, ask the questions. In fact, he was encouraging us to kind of stop and process and make sure that we're comfortable. It's 100%. We're big fans of Ray.